Hi, it's Dave again, except I'm a little 25 pounds lighter than last time you saw me. Tonight I'm going to make a seafood and sausage etouffee. What I have here for this etouffee is I have some shrimp, some Italian sausage, and some jumbo lump crab meat, which is going to be real nice. And here's some marinara sauce, some Cajun spice, equal parts flour and oil. And then I have some seafood stock, and then of course, like people on the Food Network like to say, I have the Trinity. I have peppers, onions, and celery. So let's get started here. I have the pot on the burner right here. What I'm making is a Cajun roux. Cajun roux you have to make right, otherwise it just doesn't taste right. Now I'm going to put in equal parts oil and flour. First I'm going to put in the oil. I have the pot already heating. And we'll get that started heating, and while it's heating I'll tell you a little story. This dish I learned to make off a guy, his name is David Farah. I worked with him up Hidden Valley when I worked up there. This was in the mid-'80s. And he learned to cook Cajun food down in New Orleans. He was wandering around the streets down there and learning to make it off the different Cajun food off the locals. And it's really neat, because what I learned to make is actually pretty authentic as far as it goes, but it's got Dave's little twist and my little twist to it, even though my name's Dave too. But you got the oil heating just a little bit before I put the flour in, but you don't want to heat it too much. You just want to heat a little bit, that'll speed it along. Now you want to put equal parts flour in, just all-purpose flour. And it's going to start sizzling a little bit when you throw it in if the oil's right and the oil's perfect. Now what you want to do when you're making Cajun roux is you want to keep stirring it. Because if you stop stirring it, the flour that settles to the bottom will scorch. And if it scorches, it gives it a bitter flavor. But what you start out with, whenever you start stirring, it looks like it's called blonde roux. And it's blonde right now. You can see the color of it right now. It's like a blonde color. And what you want to end up with is like a mahogany color. You want to cook it. And you're cooking it over this intense heat so you can get a mahogany color. And you can put it on higher heat if you can keep it stirred quick enough. If you can't stir it very quick, turn the heat down a little bit so you don't have to worry about it burning. Because it's real important that you keep it at a good temperature. Alright, I've been cooking this for about 5 minutes now, and what it's becoming a light brown, which you can see it right there. You want to get a light brown, it's starting to thicken, and when it gets to it starts to get a little bit darker, you're about there. You don't want to go too dark, it gets a bitter taste to it, but I've never done it, taking it real dark, but you can actually take it pretty dark, and you'll get like a black roux, which I don't know, I've never made it, but you can give it a shot. But right now it's got a nice dark brown color, so what I do is I pour in the vegetables. You pour in the peppers, the onions, and the celery. See? Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to stir it in, but be careful. As you can see all the steam coming off. The idea of what I do is some people will take the roux outside and put it in the snow if it's winter, or they'll put it in an ice bath to cool it off. What I use is the vegetables to cool it off. I'll put the vegetables in, and what they'll do is and you want to be careful because the oil and the flour gets up to about 500 degrees while you're doing this. You want to be careful, especially when you're pouring in. You don't want to splash it on your arms or you get marks on you like I got from the oven. But you stir it around and let it cool down because the next step is important. You want to make sure this is full enough because I'm going to put some Cajun spice in here next, and it'll blend in with the flavor of the roux and the vegetables. This is actually one of my favorite dishes to eat. So keep stirring it until you quit hearing the sizzling. I'm going to take it off the burner right now because the burner's a little bit warm until I quit hearing the sizzling. And as you can see, it's got that nice, it's getting a nice mahogany color. You want to get it off, put the vegetables in a little bit before it gets to this color because it's still cooking right now. That's what the sizzling sound is. It's already starting to cool off, which is a good thing. That's what the vegetables do, they cool it off. Okay, it's about done sizzling, so what I'm going to do is I have some Cajun spice here. You can use, same as my popcorn in my last video, or my first video, you can use a Paul Prudhomme's seafood, or you can use, you know, just a regular generic one that they have. You pour it in, dump about, I used a cup of oil and a cup of flour, so I'm going to put in about 2-3 tablespoons of Cajun spice in there. But the thing is, anytime you're cooking, like I said before, the idea is to make it how you like it. If you don't like it very spicy, put a minimal amount of Cajun spice in. If you like it really spicy, put a bunch in. It doesn't matter. What you want to do is you want to stir that in, and it'll incorporate into the flavor of the roux. All right, now I'm going to get the shrimp and everything going in here. So I have a skillet here. Got my burner going. I'm going to put a little melted butter or margarine, this is margarine actually, in here and get this heated up. Now what I'm making is I'm making like a stew, which is basically what the etouffee is. I'm making it with the some 1620 peeled and deveined shrimp. I have some Italian sausage that I have cooked and some jumbo lump crab meat. And I also have about a cup and a half of seafood stock, which will be the moisture for in here. And then what I'll do is I'll thicken it with this roux. I'm not going to use it all, which you don't have to worry about it. You keep after you taste this dish, you're going to want to save that roux and maybe make a chicken etouffee or a veal etouffee. It's good in any kind of dish you want to make. You just do it like this. Or you could even use it to thicken a gumbo. It's good to make a gumbo with. What I'll do is you can hear the oil start to heat up. I'm going to get the shrimp in. I left the tails on. I like to leave the tails on, because the tails give it a little bit of flavor. We'll get the shrimp going. When you're cooking shrimp, you don't want to overcook it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it about halfway, and then I'm going to add the seafood stock, and we'll add a little bit of the tomato sauce and everything, the other ingredients, and then we'll thicken it with the roux. And by the time it's done cooking, the shrimp will be cooked perfect. You just don't want to overcook it. If you overcook it, you'll make the shrimp tough. And that's what I always try to do, is make it good. You can see it's already starting to get a nice color to it. Leave the shrimp go a second. You can even, if you like extra vegetables, you want a lot of vegetables, throw some peppers, onions, and celery in this and saute it with the shrimp. I do that sometimes, but tonight I wanted to just show you a nice way to do this with just the seafood and the sausage in it. So you want to get the shrimp started to cook, and it's already starting to cook, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the sausage. I love sausage. Italian sausage is so good. We'll mix that in there and get this. So you toss it around a little bit. We'll get the sausage cooking, because what we want to do is bring out the flavor of the sausage in the dish too, along with the flavor of the shrimp. But we're going to hold off with the crab meat till we're just about done, because we don't want to overcook the crab meat. Alright, we have that going. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the seafood stock. I'm going to add probably, let's see, we'll add the whole thing, about a cup and a half of stock. And what you want to do is let that come to a nice simmer. See how it's starting to simmer already, which is real good. And what that's doing is that's finished cooking the shrimp. It's incorporating the flavor of the sausage into it. You can even just put some green onions in there to give it some flavor too. Okay, now here comes the Cajun roux. Get a nice spoonful and put it in the middle. Now what you want to do is you want to take the tip of the spoon and just stir it in like this. There we go. Get it nice and thick and leave it cook for a minute. While it's finishing cooking, you want to take your jumbo lump crab meat and pour that in. Okay, while that's going, you want to make sure the crab meat's warmed up. I'm going to put a little, a tablespoon or two of some marinara sauce in it. It gives it a nice little flavor to it.
Okay.
Alright, you can just let it cook for a minute because you want to cook the roux into it. Leave it simmer for a couple minutes. This is called Black Pearl Rice Medley. This is rice with daikon radish seeds and black barley, which is a really nice texture difference between the three of them. You just make sure it's simmered enough, and there you go. You can see the texture, it's a little bit thick. You'll take this and you'll just pour it over top of the rice. And that's our seafood etouffee, which I hate to tell you, it's good. Let me try it here. Let's get some crab meat, and then I'll cut a shrimp. Like I said, this is one of my favorite things because no matter, my taste buds vary every day. Sometimes I can't taste a lot, but when I make a dish like this, I can always taste everything in it because it's just so bold of a flavor. And if you like bold flavors, you got to try making this because it's so good. If you have any problems making it, give me a yell. I'll help you through it. You can call me here at the restaurant or email me at caroldaveroadhouse@gmail.com. I'll be glad to get back with you and help you out with it. Or give us a call, 724-238-2296. Won't hurt. I'll coach you through it if I have to. All right? Well, you folks have a wonderful day, and my daughter Lauren is actually going to be the one to teach you how to make a drink today.
Hello, I'm Lauren and I'm Carol and Dave's daughter, and I'm going to show you how to make a B52. We're going to get a rocks glass, fill it up with ice. Ingredients are Kahlua, Bailey's, and Grand Marnier. So you're going to layer it. First you're going to start out with the Kahlua, half a shot of Kahlua. Then we're going to layer the Bailey's, another half a shot. And then we're going to layer the Grand Marnier on top. Again, half a shot. Finish it off with a straw, and there's your B52.